A very good afternoon to you all, and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to UBC Lunchtime News this Tuesday, the 21st day of March 2023. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has continued to sensitize the political class about value addition to Uganda's raw materials in order to increase the country's revenue. In a meeting at State House in Entebbe, the president told the National Resistance Movement parliamentary regional whips that coffee, cotton, maize, milk, forest products and minerals are some of the commodities that should not be exported raw, but rather processed to fetch higher incomes for the country. The meeting was also attended by a consortium of 15 companies dealing in the production and export of coffee, whose leader, Nelson Tugume, told the president that about $10 million, approximately 37 billion Ugandan shillings, is needed in the first phase to export the required quality and quantity of processed coffee to the Balkan states and other markets that have opened as a result of a quarrel between Russia and the West. He also said that the dairy industry was transformed from zero in 1989 to now $3.8 billion, and the export portion is $106 million, which is a step in the right direction to ensure vertical and horizontal integration. The meeting was attended by, among others, the Prime Minister, Right Honourable Robina Nabanja, the Government Chief Whip, Honourable Hamson Obua, and the Attorney General, Honourable Kiriowa Chiwanuka. The Inspectorate of Government has expressed dismay over laxity by technocrats in most entities in implementing government programs. The Deputy IGG, Dr. Patricia Chan, expressed her views during her fact-finding tour of some of government projects in Kiryandongo district. She said the rate of absenteeism in government agencies has caused financial losses to the government. Take a watch. We'll be coming back to that story when it is ready. Now, the deployment on the Ugandan side followed, I beg your pardon, the deployment in Kenya, that is about the situation that has been taking place since yesterday, and of course protests have paralyzed business in Nairobi city, and that has been mobilized by Azimio opposition party leader Raila Odinga. Police deployed heavily in the city and its environs to stop the protesters from reaching the central business district.
Kenyan police have fired tear gas and arrested several senior opposition figures as hundreds of people protested outside protested against President William Ruto, who's been unable to bring down cost of living prices since taking over in September. Kenyans are suffering from surging prices for basic necessities and a punishing drought that's left millions hungry. The country's opposition leaders called for the protests to go ahead.
Yesterday, the police commissioner in Nairobi said that the protest had not been permitted to take place, and so anybody who will be found picketing or even demonstrating will actually be arrested. And those arrests have been many, majority of them being young people who had come out to protest. And of course, shops are also closed in Nairobi. Several people that we've talked to who are in business, they're saying today they've not been able to do any business because their shops have remained closed for the better part of the day. So that's what has been taking place here in Nairobi.
Now, following the opposition-led protests in Kenya, the security agencies on the Ugandan side deployed heavily around the border areas to avoid any spillovers of the protests. According to police spokesperson Fred Enanga, there is deployment around the Busia-Malaba border point to monitor entry and exit as security continues to monitor the situation in Kenya.
Meanwhile, actively monitoring our eastern border with Kenya, especially the areas of Busia, Tororo, which are neighboring Kisumu, to help address any spillover effects that could arise out of the protests in Kenya that were actually announced by Mr. Raila Odinga. Of course, like any other protests, there is always a potential of violence, and for that matter, we do have contingency plans in place to address any security and safety concerns that may arise along our eastern border with Kenya.
Now, traffic police has called for the public seeking to get driving permits to utilize the online testing, where all persons are seeking new or renewal of driving licenses have to use their online portal to get their permits. Farida Nampima, the traffic police spokesperson, said that the entire process of the acquisition of a driving license has been automated effective this month.
There is a development at IOV. We have automated of drivers testing at IOV. Effective March this year, the attaining of driving permit CCs at the IOV testing center by learner drivers was automated. 1. Booking of learner drivers for testing is done online by the driving schools, and all learners are brought by the driving school instructors for testing. The pass mark is 75%. So when you're brought by your learner, your instructor as a learner, you're given this exam. It's an automated system. It's online. So you start doing the exam on your phone. Whatever you pass, the system marks you. Whatever you fail, the system says you failed. So you get the marks automatically. So you know that you can't qualify for the practical exam. You failed the theory exam. When you pass the practical driving, your data is entered into the system and sent direct to UDLS. So whoever has failed, your name can't go to UDLS. So UDLS knows even the number of people it expects to test, to give permits in a particular day. That's the development that we have in traffic, the current one. We can't fight accidents when we can't do things right. And also, it's only those that have passed that are expected at UDLS. So to avoid inconveniences, if you know you failed that exam, don't waste time going to UDLS. Your name is not there, no one will accept you there. We have road safety tips for you for this season. It's a rain season. We felt it that we should remind people how to use the roads during this rain season. During the rain season, make sure that your windscreens are in a proper working order. Some of your windscreens are broken. They're just like cobwebs. Work on them. Buy a new windscreen for your own safety. On the same note, the wiper blades are supposed to be replaced immediately they are worn out. And also the tires must be replaced before the rain seasons arrive. This vehicle becomes the death trap. So work on your vehicles, it's a rain season.
Traffic Police spokesperson Farida Nampima clarifying on acquisition of new driver's licenses, or even the old ones that need to be renewed. Now let's go back to that story which we introduced earlier on, and that is the Inspectorate of Government has expressed dismay over laxity by technocrats in most entities in implementing government programs. The Deputy IGG, Dr. Patricia Chan, expressed her views during her fact-finding tour of some of government projects in Kiryandongo district. She said the rate of absenteeism in government agencies has caused financial losses to the government. Take a watch.
What happens here? Most of the SENREM projects were formed around 2019, 2020, but they have just received the money for implementation. Like the biogas cooking project, the money has just come. So the way forward is to fast track these projects, especially with the implementing partners. since the project is ending in September this year. And now Dr. Deep, some projects are ending in April this year. So we really need to move very fast if we are to benefit as Kiliandongo on some of these projects. Then IPs, the implementing partners, and some district officials are not even following the modalities as provided for by the Office of the Prime Minister to ensure that there is value for money after the IG has lifted some of the suspensions of the implementing partners. There are instances where we suspended some projects because of the manner within which they are being conducted, because there was no value for money. But now where we have lifted, I think we need to stick to the rules of the game and follow the guidelines as issued by the Office of the Prime Minister. And then we have already had an engagement with the RDC and the chairperson in her office and tackled some of this. Tackled issues to do with absenteeism. Why is it that some technical people here, when they're paid full salary, they keep absent from work, or they are late for duty, or their outputs are not seen? Why?
I don't know from the foundation
12 minutes after 1 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Jerry con. Jerry con. Hey, Master Blaster. Touch him, man. Buy Jerry con with muscle. Those ones who say go for you only. Mundawa. Best group is I teach you. But I'm going to put them squad because of the cover is very far. Is you serious? It's serious you. What? Yeah? You stay put on it. Add kilometers to your legs and you get your sugar. We buy meat from Umaru and Umaru refused to give you enough meat. Mama! Show him that they don't joke with you. Umaru, Jerry card.
Okukakaluka n'okulungi kwetaagako omuntu akuyambako, n'olwekyo tujja kukuteerawo embeera esaanidde osobole okukola ekisinga awamu teri kitulema. This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
She is the future of Uganda. And as a policy maker, the policies I enact today will protect her from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. Because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sauti 116.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We're descending into Entebbe Airport. For those proceeding to Kampala City, the biggest event in East Africa is in town.
That's right. The East African Business Expo 2023 is happening from the 23rd to the 26th of March at Kololo Grounds. Join us to network, connect, and grow. Contact us for exhibition or sponsorship opportunities. The 14th East African Procurement Forum and Business Expo 2023 is hosted by PPBA.
Now sit back and relax. It's time to explore great business opportunities.
The Chillax bundles from Airtel have been upgraded. Introducing Voice Chillax bundles. No validity, no expiry, no worries. Dial *100 *1 hash, select voice bundles and choose your preferred Voice Chillax bundle today. Talk longer with loved ones across Uganda with Voice Chillax bundles that don't expire. Airtel, the smartphone network.
Glow as you are with the new Spark 10 series smartphone from Airtel in partnership with Techno. Own the timelines with picture-perfect selfies using the 32-megapixel selfie camera, 256 GB storage, G88 gaming processor, and a strong battery to last the whole day. Haha! Toakana.
The Spark 10 smartphone comes with free 3 GB from Airtel and 100% bonus on weekly and monthly bundles every month for 3 months. So you can stay connected to a world of possibilities. Dial *100 *5 hash to enjoy free data. The new Spark 10 is available in all selected Techno shops countrywide. Airtel, the smartphone network in partnership with Techno. Stop at nothing.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello?
Hello?
This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey, you don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions, and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number, and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagements with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
Welcome back from that break, and this is UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Let's talk business now. And the Uganda Registration Services Bureau, URSB, has conducted the 6th annual training of senior judicial officers on how to effectively handle their judgments when handling matters of business insolvency under the 2011 Insolvency Act in a manner that does not suffocate the private sector and the national economy at large. The training, conducted in partnership with the Judicial Training Institute, targets Supreme Court judges, High Court judges and registrars, among others.
And then the judiciary that has to take decisions, the final decision to determine the life and the fate of this company. So we have to strike a balance that as we are taking these decisions, we can easily kill a whole economy by letting these companies just go down the drain, by not giving them opportunities to survive and thrive. We can take off down the economy or livelihood of the whole community or the whole citizenship in terms of job losses by shutting these entities down. Maybe these businesses expected to make sales, and the containers is a natural cause, and the containers can't arrive because there was an earthquake somewhere, or there was a flood somewhere, and they couldn't, and they lost their goods. So depending on the circumstances, we need to look at the 360 degrees assessment as we're taking these decisions as regulators and as courts of judicature.
Practitioners who understand this process to devise strategies acceptable to the creditors to revive the businesses. Most importantly, one will need creditors buying the proposals that are being put forward.
Non-governmental organizations have strengthened the need to conserve, protect and defend nature in order for the next generations to mitigate the adverse effects of environmental mismanagement through tree planting. Rotary Club of Sondi launched a tree planting campaign in Nandere Bethany Training Institute, where they planted over 1,000 trees with a call to all stakeholders to follow suit.
But we've been consuming free oxygen. How do we thank God this time around in this planting season? So we decided to come at least to plant 1,000 seedlings today so that we can say, thank you, Lord, for the oxygen you've given to us since we were born.
And deforestation has really brought a lot of challenges in the country. We pray that the government takes up the initiative of empowering every Ugandan to at least plant a tree every month, because you find that the Mother Earth has suffered the effects of humanity, people reclaiming land to access space for homesteads. We ask government to come strongly to enact laws that revamp all the swamps, all the virgin lands in this country so that they can be covered with the forests.
We'd like to call upon the government and all stakeholders and all corporate entities to join us in tree planting to regreen Uganda. Uganda is losing a lot of forest cover, it's losing a lot of green cover, and we'd like to invite you all to join us in this effort to plant trees. You don't have to plant many trees, even just one tree in your homestead is enough to make a change. Trees are very crucial, they help in the formation of rainfall. We have been experiencing long droughts, and trees are very important in the water cycle. Trees are also very important in sequestering carbon, and this is very essential to Uganda's goals at the Paris Agreement, where they agreed to reduce carbon in the environment, and trees are the best sequesters of carbon we have. So I invite you all.
Those people who cut trees, they want to burn and make their business in charcoal. They cut our trees and it causes floods, which is a danger to our lives. So with planting trees, we are trying to bring back the trees that were cut by those the people who are ignorant about environment.
Well, when forests are destroyed, we have destruction of medicinal plants and crops, because most of these crops and plants grow along, and also they provide. We have the mutuba, we have the longo, we have very many medicinal plants that actually give us medicine.
Moving further afield, the White House's National Security Council spokesman has called on Chinese leader Xi Jinping to urge his Russian counterpart to withdraw troops from Ukraine. John Kirby said seeking a ceasefire would not be enough. In another development, Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida is making a surprise visit to Ukraine for talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky. He is expected to voice solidarity and support for Ukraine following Russia's invasion. Japan and China see each other as regional rivals. Since Russia's war in Ukraine began, Tokyo has provided Kyiv with a mixture of humanitarian, financial and non-lethal military aid. On Monday, Xi Jinping and Putin held more than 4 hours of what were described as informal talks, with more formal discussions scheduled for Tuesday. There are concerns that China's support for Russia, currently based on technology and trade, might become military, potentially including artillery shells. Putin has said he'll discuss a 12-point plan proposed by President Xi Jinping to settle the acute crisis in Ukraine. And finally, let's have a look at sports news, and we'll look at swimming, where Uganda's swimming star Husna Kukundakwi has returned home after a successful World Para-Swimming Series and classification in Sheffield, the UK. Our sports reporter John Barnes-Sentamu has the story.
The smile on her face clearly tells that she achieved almost 90% of what travelled her to the UK. Welcome back. Though there was competition to put her on course for a return to the Paralympics in 2024, her major achievement is the latest classification to enable her compete in the right grade.
Classification in paraswimming is where they
place certain different types of people with disabilities according to like similar disabilities, so it's a fair game. Like a person like me is S8. My class was lowered to S8 because I have no lower right arm and two incomplete fingers. Yeah, so my class was lowered to S8, but before I was in S9, where you'd find people who are like me, like same, like missing one limb or half a limb, and they're in S9 and they have a full palm or maybe a full toe or full foot or anything. So classification is basically the distribution of different kinds of disabilities across each other so that it's more of a fair swimming competition. As per right now, I'm in S8, which is for freestyle backstroke butterfly. For breaststroke, I'm in SB8. That one stayed the same. I've always been in SB8. And for SM8, which is for individual medley, where you do the 200 IM.
Before classification, we felt that she was competing unfairly. Like she has said, competing with people with a full palm, have a better propulsive force compared to a person who has only 2 fingers. So every time she would compete in certain events, she would really struggle with that. So they had to lower the classification that can compete fairly with people who have the same impairment. So we feel like now we are in a field where we're playing fairly, and I expect to do better than before.
Kukundakwe also took part in the British World Paraswimming Series, in which she qualified for the World Paraswimming Championships due in Manchester in July. At the World Paraswimming Championships in Manchester, she will compete in the 100-meter breaststroke and butterfly, and also the 200-meter individual medley with targets of qualifying for the 2024 Paris Paralympics.
I'm very happy about that, very excited to go for the championships, and if I am given the opportunity to go and try to qualify again, I will try to qualify for more, but right now I'm very happy to have qualified for those 2.
Because this has been an eye-opener, like we have, I must say that there was a lot of progress. The first event we used to qualify for 1, now we are qualifying for 3, but unfortunately we would like to qualify for more events to give us a better experience and also improve our opportunities of swimming at the Olympics. We have identified areas that we need to improve, especially events like freestyle, so we have come back home and that's where we're going to focus regarding our trainings.
Some sports in Uganda, notably swimming, are a parent-child affair, and little wonder Husna's mother, Hashima Biramahaire, is the manager.
It really feels good to take an athlete to compete and you get good results. When Husna qualifies on merit for big events, it shows that anyone can qualify. They just have to put in a lot of energy, put in a lot of dedication, and yeah, they can also qualify because you can see that Husna is changing that game from going to participate on wild card, but going on merit after qualification.
Back home, after a successful outing, Kukundakwe now takes a short break to focus on her education before resuming thorough training ahead of the World Championships. John Barnes, Centum, UBC News.
And we wish Husna Kukundakwe success in her swimming exploits. And that brings us to the end of UBC Lunchtime News this Tuesday, the 21st day of March 2023. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you all the best and bon appetit, those of you who are about to have your lunch.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
With God, comfort replaces pain, peace replaces confusion, hope replaces sorrow. God loves you and knows you personally. He hears you and speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Come, hear the words God has for you. Watch the General Conference on Sunday, 2nd of April.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom voice bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21 hash or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
It's no secret that ICT makes learning easy.
The strides made in our field could not be possible without it.
And now we can watch our favorite shows.
My radio is my best friend.
UCC provides an enabling regulatory environment and policy guidance for healthy competition. We also facilitate ease of doing business in the communications sector through licensing, standardization, spectrum management, tariff regulation, rural communication development, and consumer empowerment. An informed consumer is an empowered consumer. UCC supports local content and innovations. Driving the development of a robust communication sector in Uganda is Uganda Communications Commission.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.